Alright, we're back with part 2 of the home worm farm, and I, at this point, am choosing to do the 3-bucket system. The bottom bucket to catch the worm juice, or worm tea, and then the bucket here, which will be the first one, condo that they will fill up. Once that's filled, I will add this bucket and go from there. So now we're going to make the home for the worms. So let's start by cheating a little. We'll pull that one up. The one that drains. At the bottom, you want to put torn up or shredded. I don't have a shredder handy, so we've got scissors, male that I don't want. The finer you can do it, like if you have a shredder, probably the better. Some internet sites talk about coconut meal or the shreddings from the coconut itself. But these are worms, and they're going to eat everything. You don't want to use citrus-based. You want to avoid the onion family when you get ready to feed them. So, thought about doing this before coming on camera, but I was an idiot and didn't. So, give me just a minute. I'll be right back with you. Alright, thank you. Welcome back. What I've done is I finished cutting up some mail that I didn't want, bills I didn't want to pay. No, just joking. But junk mail, newspapers, you want to soak them, get them nice and wet, and then from here you're going to wring them out and just lay them down in the bottom. We'll change the angle on that once I get it in there. You just want to make sure that the bottom is completely covered, and you want to loosen it up and spread it out. They like it moist, but not too wet, which is why we're going to start with the moisture level down at the bottom. And we'll have a moisture level on top. And of course, your wet vegetables and stuff that you put in there will add moisture. The materials you want to use, you don't want to use glossy paper. If you use junk mail and you shred, make sure you take those little plastic windows out. You want to make sure there's no staples, obviously. All these things could really hurt your worms. Alright, so fill the bottom. Step 1. I'm back. Okay. Step 2. Now you can put almost anything in there for them to eat. These cardboard eggshell cartons, they can go in there because they want a lot of aeration in there, so when you're building their bed, you'll have this in there as well. I'm just going to tear this up. One less for my chickens to fill up. Okay. I went down to the river. I'm in Evansville. I went down to the river and I got some sand just off the riverbank. Just going to sprinkle that on top of the wet newspapers and old mail. I would say that was probably about 2 cups, but this is not a cooking show, so put that in there. And then this bucket right here is just full of some basic topsoil. They suggest compost. Now I have chickens. And they've been composting for me, so there's some of that mixed in here too. Put that in there. don't have any veggies to feed them yet. So, too much. Start off with a little grass. A little more dirt. And now I'm going to put the worms in there and then cover them up a little bit more. Where'd they go? I just went to Walmart. I didn't order anything offline. So basically the only thing that I've bought, had the buckets donated, I bought the worms at Walmart and the soil, their cheapest topsoil. And then of course I added my chicken stuff to it. So we put those worms in there. We cover them up. We look at them. Oh, look at them. They're all like all happy. Look at them. Yay, they're happy worms. Alright, so we're going to make sure they're nice and covered. They're going to dig down in there anyways. And I'm only going to fill the bucket up about halfway to start. Make sure that they're covered. Oh, critter, get covered. Covered up. I'm going to add these in here. Make sure they've got plenty to eat. Now, I'm only going to, being new to this, being kind of an experiment, I'm only going to feed them about once a week-ish, or thereabouts. And since these are little worm farms, hold on, we'll take some of that out. I got some tea bags that I've cut the staples off of. They'll like that. That's full of nutrients. I have some fresh mint tea leaves in there that we've already brewed that I'll be putting in there. And I've already got them some grass. Now I soaked these two in some water, in the water as well. I'm going to top that off to help with the barrier. Now they'll still get plenty of air because of everything that I've got in there, and I'm not capping it, blocking off all their air holes. But for Condo 1, for the start of my composting, my worm farm, what is it called? Vermicompost. I have that. Remember, we got our air holes in here. And then when that gets filled up, we will add our second. And likely go ahead and add a third, depending on how fast those little worms, because the more worms you have, the faster they decompose and make the tea and make the worm castings. But that's the simple matter of it. Here's some dried leaves I was going to put on top, but I ended up using the egg cartons instead. So if you have any questions or any comments or any suggestions, please put them in the comment area, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Thank you for your time.